Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for tuning in. I Can Get You Fly TV show where you tune in for business after beauty school education for the enthusiastic, ambitious student who wants to make a six-figure income rather than just a standard 20K per year. I'm your host, Stylist John, and we've been talking about the series called Celebrate. Now, why have we been talking about this series called Celebrate? Well, you remember that song? Celebrate good times. Come on. Doom, 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 doom. Celebrate good times. Come on. Doom, 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 doom. So when you begin to celebrate, it brings your own personal energy to a plateau level where you pretty much control the outcome of everything that's going on around you because you control you, right? There's a wise saying that it goes like this: he who angers you is he who controls you. So if you allow different things on the outside of you, situations, losses, to control your energy on the inside, then the thing on the outside of you is controlling you. When you begin to celebrate on the inside of you and you begin to celebrate and exude positive energy on the inside of you, despite different things that's going around you that's negative, and you just begin to clap your hands and you begin to stomp your feet and begin to be thankful, what happens is you take away the control from the external stimulus that's controlling you, and it now becomes internal. Let me give you an example. Let's say there was a person that worked for a company for over 10 to 15 years, and this person, the job paid them very well, and they lived their lifestyle off of this job. But let's say the job just decided to let them go. They got old or whatever, for whatever reason, they got hurt and decided to file a grievance with the company and got medical leave. And let's say the company decide, well, this person is no longer an asset to us. We're gonna let them go. And so they let you go before, and you had 401k with the company, you had stock with the company, you had good relationship with people, and now your livelihood depends on this one company, right? And they let you go like nothing. Then they hire somebody new and put you in the same spot, somebody new that looked just like you, put you in the same spot, and they kept on moving. And now you stuck. There's a lot of people in America that are stuck because of this job model. And the job model is you go to school, you trained in elementary, middle school, and high school on how to do various different things, on how to obey commands, and the positive system of reward and punishment, with the bell pretty much telling you what time you're supposed to go to class, what time you're supposed to go to lunch, and what time you're supposed to go home, right? The bell, the sound of the bell is what identifies to a person, oh, hey, up, it's time to do this, up, it's time to do that. The same thing at work. There are bells that go off in factories that denote when you're supposed to start working, when you're supposed to stop. And these are psychological triggers where your behavior is linked to a trigger where you perform a job task or function like a machine. Now, the human mind is very intricate. The human mind can stretch beyond reality. The human mind is very uh, complex, like a computer. Matter of fact, it's the computer was actually patterned off of the human mind. But why am I talking about this? Well, the reason why I'm talking about this is because a job is designed to give you a skill set. A job is not designed for you to stay there forever. I'm gonna say this again. A job is not designed for you to stay there forever. No job is designed for you to stay there forever, especially in the way that the world is right now. People losing their jobs. They've been at their job for 20 years, and government shutdowns and companies folding over. Uh, one of the schools that I went to under the Vatterott umbrella called Extreme Institute by Nelly, they had a shutdown. It was an abrupt shutdown. So what happened was the instructors and the people that was in the media department, because I got my associate's degree in audio engineering production and audio engineering and production with management. So what does that mean? That means I know how to audio engineer. I know how to mix movies. I know how to mix soundtracks. I know how to mix commercials. I know how to shoot video work. I know how to songwrite, conduct entertainment business. That was my degree under the umbrella of that degree field, and so it's very vast. So I can do a lot of different things under that degree field. The instructors that taught us, some of them had degrees and some of them didn't. Some of them just had platinum plaques on their wall with very extremely successful people. I'm talking about like millionaires. Some of the instructors that taught me at the school I went to were millionaires, and they didn't have a degree. They didn't have a degree in music. They just had a skill set and the passion and the drive to want to be really good at it. The director of the school didn't have a degree in music. He just had platinum plaques all over his wall. Very intelligent guy. And he actually dropped out of college in order for him to pursue his career in music and became very successful working with a lot of different artists, Michael Jackson being one of them, Nelly being one of the main rap artists that he worked with, where he got a lot of his success from. But he's a very excellent mix engineer. I'm talking about well accredited. Well accredited. You can look his name up on Wikipedia and you will see all his records, albums, awards, everything he earned. He's also nominated. He's also on the board for recommending people to win Grammys. So a lot of the instructors that I work with, they are instructors, but they're also in an organization where they can nominate who can win the Grammy and who can't. And why am I talking about this? Well, a lot of the instructors had work that they did before they even got the job. A lot of the instructors were already in the field. And what does that mean? That means that the corporation gathered up all the talent and put them in the building and made the curriculum based off of the skill sets that the instructors had, and made the degree system to educate the students in the field that they were in, that they were wanting to go in, to develop real world experience and also to develop a work ethic. A work ethic and a job are two different things. You can have work, or work is a lifelong thing. A job could be something where you learn a skill set. Let me give you an example. And I'm going to relate this to the beauty field. While I was in school getting my associate's degree in audio engineering production with management from Nelly's Extreme Institute, I went and I worked at a television station. And the reason why I went and worked at a television station, I took on an intern job at a television station because I wanted to learn the ins and outs of television, because I had a radio and television broadcasting degree that I got when I was in my early 20s from St. Louis Community College. And the technology changed a lot, because when I was in St. Louis Community College studying for my radio and television broadcast degree, we had VHS tapes. There wasn't no digital cameras like there is right now. We had, everything was VHS tapes. Everything was reel to reel. And so we had to learn to edit and splice reel to reel. And so right around 2001, 2000, that's when cell phones started getting cameras. And that was right around the time period where digital cameras started taking over. And I had bought a digital camera right around that time period. And it was kind of tricky to use. They didn't have they had media cards. There was compact flash cards. They was like this big. The memory cards were this big where you put it inside the camera. And now it's supposed to take the place of a VHS tape. Everybody was used to VHS tapes, but the technology was taking over. So while I was in school at the Extreme Institute, I went and I interned at a television station, and I took on whatever job they gave me. Why I take on whatever job they gave me? Well, on my application, I put down that I had the associate's degree already for radio and television broadcasting, but the technology had changed. And so I let my supervisor know that. And he was cool about it. He was like, well, we just going to put you in wherever you fit in. I was like, cool. So I was there for almost 2 years. I was there for 2 years. And that wasn't the only place I interned. So when I interned there, I started off as a grunt. And what's a grunt? A grunt is somebody that grabs the tripods and cameras and helps the production person set up everything, set up the lights, set up the tripod, and watch the equipment because sometimes you be on running gun shoots where you have to get things done quickly, and the talent may just be walking up and you got everything set up and things supposed to flow. And so you helping the production person make everything flow because when you shoot in the field, it's not that easy. Okay. And so I remember doing a shoot with one of my production, one of the production guys named Joe, older brother, cool guy, uh, picked me up from the television station. We went to the Rustic Goat downtown off Washington, and we was meeting with uh, one of the personalities that was going to do the television broadcast. And so I had just came from Philadelphia from doing some bodyguard work, and I was jet lagged, but I was amped because you know I love production. And so Joe picked me up. We went to the Rustic Goat, made it down to the Rustic Goat. The Rustic Goat is a place where they have like events, where they have like parties and fashion shows, and they have a great restaurant. I mean, it's an amazing place to go. It's no longer called the Rustic Goat no more. It's called something else now. I think it's called Patois or something like that. It's called Patois, and got everything set up for them: tripod, lights, camera. Uh, Made sure the area was clean. We had to scope out an area where we can hold interviews at for the club, and it was an amazing time period. And when we set up, it just so happened where it wasn't a lot of people that was inside the area where we was at, but more than likely, it was a lot of people coming inside of the building. So what I had to do, I had to watch the camera equipment. So while I'm watching the camera equipment, Joe is instructing me on how to set up the tripod properly. He's instructing me on what temperature the light should be. He's instructing me on how to white balance the camera and how to make sure that the picture is clear. So while I'm working, while I'm doing this job, I'm learning the skill set for these different cameras that I'm working with. Now, why am I learning the skill set for these different cameras I'm working with? You want things to come out right. You want things to come out clear. And so in order for things to come out clear, you have to learn the system of how to do things appropriately. And so we got done with the broadcast. The broadcast aired on television. The broadcast aired on cable television. And I went home for the day. It took maybe about 2 hours to edit after we got done shooting, and then it was broadcast on live television, and it was broadcast on cable television when we got done shooting. And we had to shoot it very early in the morning. It was like 11, 12, midnight when the club was jumping, when the owners was there. And it was a good time. And so I celebrated while I was doing this job. Why? Because I was learning how to do running gun shoots. I was learning the new equipment. I was learning how to do these various different things. And so at the television station, I did makeup on some of the guests that came in. Why? Because I wanted to exercise my skill for doing makeup. What else did I learn? I learned how to set up green screens. I learned, on top of learning how to set up green screens, I learned how to chroma key. On top of chroma key, I learned how to do photo shoots because at every broadcast, when there was talent there, we had to take pictures of the broadcast as well as edit the footage. I learned how to be a floor director. What's a floor director? A floor director is something that coordinates from the production coordinator. The production coordinator is the person that's throwing on the production, that have wrote the script and have designated the time frame for how long this segment is going to air. The production coordinator is the person that communicates to the floor director the instructions for how the cameraman is supposed to be set up, what filter the cameras are supposed to be on, what angle or what shot is supposed to be directed. I worked as a floor director. I got to experience being a camera operator, a floor director, sound engineer, white balancer, person who white balances all the cameras, set up all the wires. I got to do the lights. I got to do everything that was done inside of that production facility. Why? Because a job is designed to teach you a skill set, which goes me, which takes me into today's lesson. Celebrate while you're working. When you celebrate while you're working, when you begin to throw a celebration on the inside, what does it do? It begins to build up your spiritual energy. It begins to build up your energy level. It begins, the things around you don't dictate where you're going. You dictate to it where you're going. Sometimes there are setbacks and failures that cause you problems. Sometimes there are setbacks and failures that may cause your spirit on the inside to become broken, or your spirit on the inside to become let down, or you might feel depressed. But when you begin to celebrate on the inside while you're working, you begin to exude a level of confidence. You begin to exude a level of awareness and a level of understanding the different things you're going through, that these things are designed to equip me for something greater. So why am I talking about this? Well, because you might be at a job you might not like right now. And you might be one. That's the reason why my uncle Howard, when I was a young man, 12, 13 years old, teenager, he told me, John, a black man and black woman must have more than one hustle. You must have more than one ability, more than one way or ability to make some money. And he took me in his office. He had a building called the Wheeler Dealer. The Wheeler Dealer was a shop where he would put tires on people's cars real fast. He would do mechanic work, and he would do oil changes in the hood, in Pine Line area. And he owned the entire building. And before he owned that building, he told me what he was going to do. He said, John, he said, I'm finna own a shop. And he said, I want you to watch me when I do this. He took me in his office. He showed me the paperwork, and he took me with him in the car. I'm 12, 13 years old. He took me down to the Pine Line area, spoke to the guy that owned the building, and he went and worked for the guy. I'm talking about he went in there and worked for free. He learned every aspect of how to do that job in there for 1 month straight. And when he worked in there for 1 month, he took notes on what he's supposed to do and what he's not supposed to do. And then he did so much work to where the guy seen the value in what it was that he did, that the guy hired him on full time. And he started working full time. Not only did he work full time, but he also had a lawn care business, and he was a Mr. Fix It. I'm talking about the man could fix anything: cars, radios, TVs. People would come to him all the time about fixing stuff. And he was a very known guy for doing construction. And he learned how to do all this stuff on his own. Didn't nobody teach him how to do this stuff. He had to learn. So my Uncle Howard sat me down and he was like, John, black men have to learn how to do more than one skill set. And black women need to learn how to do more than one skill set. So when he showed me that he worked for the Wheeler Dealer, I was amazed because he just got done telling me he was going to do it. And he worked for the company 6 months before he bought the building. I'm talking about, told the guy, he's like, hey, I'm pretty good with, owning, working here and everything. I said, I would like to buy this building from you. He was like, okay. Sat down and made a deal with the guy. And then the next thing you know, he owned the entire building. I'm talking about he worked just that well and learned how to make business deals to where he worked that well to where he was able to own he owned that building for almost 10 years, made some good money, put his children in houses. I'm talking about my cousins, 16, 17 years old with their own house at 16, 17 years old, made good money, learned how to fix up houses. Why am I talking about this? Well, I'm talking about this about ownership. I'm talking about this because you have to work. Your work and your job is two different things. You need to have more than one ability to be able to make money and survive, because if a job falls on you, if a job began to cut you loose and your income source was dependent on just that one job, now you have a problem because now you're not able to support yourself. So you have to have more than one skill set. You have to have more than one ability to be able to survive outside of a regular job. Now, corporations might not like this, but that's okay. They'll live. Corporations might not like this, but that's okay. They will live. But you need to survive. Not only do you need to survive, you need to live. Now, why do you need to live? Because you have a legacy to leave, and you have rent, gas, electricity, plumbing, all type of stuff you need to take care of outside of a regular job. Okay. Another thing, how does this relate to the beauty field? This relates to the beauty field by in the beauty field, you're gonna find yourself working in different shops until you own your own. Let's just keep it real. Not everybody stays in the same shop. And the instructors may call it shop hopping, but if you shop hopping with a purpose, you're going to different locations in order to learn. You're going to different locations in order to acquire an understanding of how to do things and how not to do things. When I first started working inside of a shop, I bounced around from different shops. Literally, just about. I probably stayed. The longest time I stayed in the shop was probably 2 years, and that was because I worked for the same company. I went from one location to another location, and the reason why I did that was because the two locations was in two different demographics. One location was in the city near the projects, and the other location was in the county near a lot of successful businesses. And I wanted to see the difference between the environments. And so I worked at one location for a period of time, mastered the terrain, and then I worked in the other location and learned how to master the terrain over there. And it taught me a lot about myself, and it taught me a lot about the environment that I was in. Now, as far as shops, I worked in different shops where my creativity was almost being stifled by the owner, because when I began to express my creative ideas, and the owner had a set way how they wanted to run the shop, and I had all the ideas that I wrote down in order for me to be able to survive and make money, they was only comfortable with me just paying the booth rent. And so at most of the shops I worked at, prior to me getting to a location where I actually really enjoyed, you know, uh, they wouldn't give you a key to get in and out of. You had to be there during the time period that was there, and they didn't help you get no clientele. You had to learn how to build your own clientele. And so from shop to shop, I learned how to build my own clientele from working in sales and marketing. I worked at sales and marketing jobs, talking to people, waving at them, giving them promotional materials while working in shops. I learned how to do customer service from being in sales positions, from helping to solve customers' problems and talk with them about various different things that was going on with them. I have a lot of experience in a lot of different things. And so all these different experiences are designed to teach you skill sets in order to help you with work, not just a job, because a job is designed to teach you a skill set. Now, why are these jobs designed to teach you a skill set? Because there just may be things you don't know. There just may be things that you might not understand. Now, in the beauty field, you have to learn point of sale, point of sale cashiering. You have to be able to learn how to ring a customer in and ring them out. That's a very important skill set that you have to learn. And then the ability to be able to have retention. What is retention? Retention is where a client comes back, where you develop a great customer service rapport with a client to where they're happy. You perform excellent customer service and they come back. You want the client to come back. And so when the client comes back, your ability to be able to conduct business increases. And why do you want this company? Why do you want the skill set of customer service to where the client comes back? Well, because your clients are your business. Your clients are your ability to be able to stay in business. And if your clients cause you the ability to stay in business and you remain in business over a period of time, they're going to keep giving you money. And then they're going to continue spreading the word about what it is that you do. They're going to be spreading your brand. Now, why is this important for them to spread your brand? The reason why you want them to spread your brand is because as your brand gets spread more and more in territories, those are territories where people are going to give you money. And so when they give you money, you have to be able to use the point of sale registry where you can bring them in and bring them out real fast, where you can accept the money and give them their receipt and move on very fast. And so I worked at a job where we did point of sale registry, and we had a script, an actual system with greeting the customer, developing a rapport, doing a consultation, and doing a consultation led into selling them a product where you set the product on your station and turn the customer around and put the product in their hair and massage the product in the customer's hair and then style the customer's hair and let them see what the product did and talk to them about the product and then thank them for coming and then take them to the register and ask them, do they want to buy the product? And more than likely, if they like their haircut or hairstyle, then they bought the product from you. And when they buy the product from you, you receive a commission on them buying the product, and the customer can leave you a tip at the end of your service while receiving a regular per hour wage. So it was 3 ways that you got paid. You got paid from the regular hour wage from working at the company. You got paid for the commission from them buying the product that you just sold to them that you use in their hair, and the customer can tip you from doing the best quality work. At this job, you learn how to do different type of haircuts and hairstyles because they have a haircut and hairstyling system. And so the main thing that you look at when you're working for companies like this is, yeah, they want stylists there, but at these companies, they want stylists there, but not all the time do they treat the stylist right. If they look at you like you are a machine, you better know that they're treating you like you're expendable. And so you got to have a backup plan. You got to have a plan B and a plan C in the same field that you're doing. Why? Because if they let you go and they decide to cut off your income, you still have to be able to survive. You still have to be able to support yourself. Why am I talking about this? Because I worked for a company that did me just like that. They treated me like a robot. Now I read reports and all different type of things prior to that, well, how they treated their stylists, and the manager and the general manager make it seem real good. They make it seem like it's the greatest place to work. And because you a stylist, you're like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna go work here. You are amped up, but then people personalities begin to come out. And then you start to deal with corporate BS. What I mean by corporate BS, I'm talking about like the corporate rules that's designed to protect the brand, but not designed to protect you as a person. And so in the place that I worked at, I noticed a period of discrimination because I was working with a class of people that was this color of my t-shirt. Read between the lines. I worked with an organization where the main customer base was the color of my t-shirt. And if I didn't have a backup plan and I didn't have a couple of other entrepreneurial things going while I'm working for this company, when I told the manager and I said, hey, I perceive that there's some discrimination things that are going on, and I made it clear as day and told her what was going on and said, hey, this is what's going on. She was like, no, it must be a figment of your imagination, but I'm used to being discriminated against by people the color of my t-shirt. It been happening to me my entire life, and I had to deal with it. And so I've learned as a brother that I had to learn how to communicate, how to carry myself, and how to have educated communications with people that think different than me. And that's fine. I have no problem with that. I've never had a problem with that. But the thing that I have a problem with is when people disregard you and when people talk down to you or try to belittle you, and you are educated beyond where they think, and they think that you're stupid, or they talk to you like you're stupid. And I explain this to the manager and let the manager know, hey, this is going on. And when I explained this to the manager and let her know, hey, this is what's going on, she took it like a slap on the wrist because she literally was close to that same demographic. If you looked at her, you would have seen, well, she probably could be that nationality as well. That's probably something she checked on the box. But her nationality was supposed to be of 2 different races, but she didn't act like it. And I found it to be very interesting though. So what I do? Okay, I let it roll off. I began to celebrate. Why? Because my work is different than the job that I was at. And what did I do with the job? I learned as much as I could learn. What did I learn? Haircutting system. What else did I learn? clipper cutting techniques. What else did I learn? Point of sale registry. What else did I learn? How they develop their customer base and keep their customer base rotating. What will I do? System in order to incorporate it into my level of work. Why? Because when corporations disregard you as an individual, when corporations disregard you as a person, you still have to be able to support yourself. And the corporation only paid you a fourth of what you're supposed to be making. So let's say on an average day, you working for a corporation in the beauty field, they pay you $9 an hour. But on that day, you produce like 500. Are they going to give you any of that 500? No. But if you exude the same skill set in a place of business that's your own, where you own the building, where you own the lights, gas, and the utilities, and you pay the bills there, if you exude that same work ethic and that same system of doing things at the location that you own, that $500 that you made for that company is $500 that go right into your bank account where you can pay your rent, gas, electricity for yourself. And that's what you do. You work to learn a skill set and you celebrate while you working. And the reason why you celebrate while you working is because you got bigger things in mind. You got bigger goals in mind. You got bigger dreams in mind. I'm Stylist John. Thank you for tuning in to I Can Get You Fly TV show for business after beauty school education. For the enthusiastic, ambitious student who wants to make a six-figure income rather than a standard 20K per year, the series is Go Work. Episode 11, you want to celebrate while working. A job is designed to teach you a skill set. And in the beauty industry, the skill sets you want to learn hair cutting systems. You want to learn clipper cutting techniques. You want to learn point of sale registry, and you want to learn marketing. Why do you want to learn marketing? You want to learn marketing because it's your ability to be able to sell to your customer and to be able to give them information about your tools, products, and services. You want to learn point of sale registry because it teaches you how to handle cash and how to handle the workflow of the information that you receive from the customer and to be able to give them a receipt very efficiently. And you want to learn clipper cutting and hair cutting techniques. And if you want to learn some of these techniques, I have no problem showing you these techniques. Whether you're a first-year student, whether you're a current student, first-year student, or you're about to graduate, I will share what I know with you. I'm Stylist John. You definitely want to make sure you rebuild your credit. Why? Why you want to rebuild your credit? Your credit is your word. And your credit, once your credit score begins to go up, you can literally be able to go onto a parking lot where they sell cars at and be able to leave without putting any money down for a car. That's if you have A1 credit. And if you are a stylist or barber and you would like to donate some of your time towards a great cause of helping youth ages 15 and under keep up their hygiene, have a great conversation, and help a young man, a young lady with a stylish look, inbox me or email me or call me. All right. Cuts in conversations, because conversation rules the nations. And if you are a young lady who would like to be mentored, or your son or daughter has an interest in the barber beauty industry, I would love to help mentor your son or daughter into them being the best hairstylist or barber they can be. And there's a mission going on in St. Louis where we want to end homelessness. Why do we want to end homelessness? Because literally this past week, 3 homeless people have died. They have died. I mean, in the cold weather, below 0 degree weather, have died. So we want to help end homelessness. Why do we want to end homelessness? Because there are enough buildings and there are enough houses in the city of St. Louis where people can live in comfortably without being disenfranchised out on the street, especially while it's cold. And if you believe in the causes that I've explained, check out my GoFundMe page at www.gofundme.com/StylistJohn and donate. For more tips, subscribe to my YouTube channel. The link is below. You can check out my YouTube channel at Stylist John MUA2. You can do a search and join my newsletter at http://stylistjohn.webs.com/about us to be informed of my newsletter for business after beauty school education. For the enthusiastic, ambitious student who wants to make a six-figure year income rather than a standard 20K per year, I'm your host, Stylist John. If you are a young man or young lady and you would like to book your haircut weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, you can book me online at www.styleseat.com/stylistjohn2. Or check out my website at www.stylistjohn.webs.com. Thank you for tuning in. You want to celebrate. Celebrate good times. Come on. Doom, 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 doom. Doom, doom, doom. Celebrate good times. Come on. Doom, 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 doom. Celebrate good times. Come on. Doom, 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 doom. You want to celebrate while you're working. And remember, a job is designed to give you a skill set.